Well, I'm delighted once more. I'm joined by the victorious head coach Carl Forster. Carl, it's another victory on the road, 30 points to 6. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, bit of a whirlwind afternoon, wasn't it? I thought first half, I thought it was probably the dumbest we'd played, not necessarily the poorest, but I just thought end of sets we were really poor. We broke them down a few times on our left and just forced the pass trying to score it, and that was my message at our time. I was really frustrated, if I'm going to be honest, even though we were 6-all going down the hill. You see Keighley were growing in confidence, every error they were buzzing around the ball, and yeah, I thought it could have been a really dangerous second half, but I just said we didn't necessarily need to play better, we just needed to play smarter and play the percentages, take the tackles, kick better, chase better. And even then I thought second half, first 10-15 minutes they were all over us, we couldn't get out the half, and I just said to him then, it was just, we stuck in the ground, we completed sets, we kicked better, we chased better, and ultimately we just gradually went up the field. And then I think Brooksy forced an error on play 5 on a kick chase, and we got the ball and put points on the board. And I think we spoke all week about when we get Keighley in a certain position, it might sound a little bit disrespectful, but just the position they're in, and we know that position through previous experiences, that they'll crack, and ultimately that's what they did. And I thought that was I don't think the scoreline reflects the game. I'll be really honest, I thought Keighley had a really huge dig. I just spoke to a few of their boys and said that's the best they've played all year. And I thought the middles took it to us, and ultimately, we just come out the other end and posted some great points towards the back end of the game.
Yeah, I think what you mean about the Keighley putting Keighley under pressure, they try and overplay, don't you, to get out of a situation, and you sense that. But what I'm impressed with is it's another half without conceding. I think it's the 6th, 7th time we've done that this season, Cup and League. That's impressive, isn't it? I thought you were in control of the ruck defensively. Because they were banging on the door, forcing sets, and you looked comfortable. I thought for the whole 80 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's what frustrated me in the first half. We spoke a lot. We'd done a lot of video on Farrell, his left foot step, his box of frogs when he gets back in on the middles, and we like to drop the back rows under a lot and try and catch that middle switching off. And they actually did quite a few times in the first half, and I thought if they were a bit more clinical, they probably could have scored a couple. But then we just nullified it second half. Though, like I said, we were smarter with and without the ball, and I just love on that last play, the desperation just to not concede when the game's gone. It doesn't really matter if they score, and I think that just sums us up. Probably apart from the Swinton second half, I think defensively all year we've been pretty outstanding. I think we're up there with one of the best defences in the league. I think we are the best defence now, just looking at the goal and working to score. So yeah, it's a trait that we wanted to bring in this year, and the lads have bought into how we want to defend, and ultimately it's those boys on the field doing it, and they turn up for each other, and like you said, it's another 40 minutes where we don't concede, and even the 6 points we did concede was off a play 5 kick.
Yeah, so it was almost a faultless performance, in defence. It was just, as you say, that kick, we let one go. Do you think we were guilty in the first half? Because obviously it was a stop-start first half, wasn't it? And it was like there was no consistency, no flow to the game. Do you think we got dragged into the grind there?
I feel like because we know we've got quality players, we've got great strike. If we get down in the half, I feel like we need to score points, and I think lads get a bit frustrated. And I keep saying my message is just be happy, be happy to be playing in those areas of the field, to sustain pressure, and that's what we did. And the points will follow. We've got striking. You see Wildy on an edge there. I thought Pat Arvan in the centres this week was a forced decision. I'm not going to turn around and say it was a coaching masterclass decision. It wasn't. It was a forced one. Pat put his hand up to play centre. We knew Jack would do a great job. I thought Jack was outstanding today, and yeah, that's kind of solved the problem for us at the minute.
Last week we had 15 minutes where we blitzed Newcastle. I think we scored 4 tries in about 10 minutes. Similar situation today. Is that because we changed tact? We sped the ruck up? Did you sense that they were tiring? Did you do what was it? Was it the bench that made the difference? What was it?
I think it's a little bit of everything in it. I thought our bench was outstanding today, and you've got people like Joe Baldwin and Paddy Jones that have got to sit there for 50 minutes. They've warmed up with the team. They've sat there, and I feel sorry for them. But when you've got your Josh Hughes, your Chris Barretts that can do what they do. I brought Eva off and he was still winning offside, and Marcus not scored in the 60th minute. But then they come on and they do an outstanding job. They do everything else asked for them, and I just think it's a little bit of everything. And we knew when you put Keighley in that spot, then they would crumble, because unfortunately, they're just in a tough place. They lost 2 bodies as well. We lost Jordan Case, and they're doing it really tough at the minute. Keighley. They're an outstanding outfit, mate, and I think that's what makes the win so good. They're doing it tough at the minute, and I just said to a few of their boys, they won't be doing that for long. They won't be losing many more games.
Like you say, the score doesn't really reflect the game, and it sort of, to be honest, flatters us really because they deserved probably a bit more from that. But we took our opportunities, and it's simple as that. You mentioned about Jordan Case being injured. It looked nasty, and what's an update with that?
I'm not sure, mate. Obviously, he left on crutches. He's gone to the hospital, so it's 10 minutes after kick off after the final. So I don't know, mate. We'll get an update on Casey, and obviously we'll speak to medical and go from there.
Rochdale next week. It's going to be another tough challenge, but you probably want more the same, and we know how we can play on the wide pitch in Colwyn Bay.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a tough one, mate. I think in terms of brand of rugby, I think Rochdale playing up there with the best. They've got some great halves, good fullbacks, Smartin, McNally and Lewis L. So, no, mate, we're going to have to do our own work. It's going to be a really tough game. We've always, in the last couple of years, we've really struggled against Rochdale, so that's something that we want to put right. And a bit like this place, we've not come here for 11 years and we've come here and won. So I've just said to the lads that they're the group of people that's done that, and hopefully we go and repeat that next week against Rochdale.
Obviously, a nice journey home now.
Yeah, no, they deserve it, mate. They've trained really hard this week. We've treated it like a, that's I think a sports during the week. We treated it as if it is Kieghley top of the table, clash, favourites for the league. We've not bought into looking at league tables and stuff like that. And they've come here. They've done a great job. But we'll enjoy tonight, and we move on to Rochdale tomorrow.
Finally, I always end it on the fans. They were here again in numbers, vocal at the end as always.